The Business Review brings you top financial news developments, influencing financial markets, international currencies, commodities, global commerce, tourism, and other economic events from around the globe.
The 2020 China Media Group, or CMG, Financial Forum kicked off in Beijing, with focus on the mission of industry and finance in new development paradigm. Participants from government, economic and business circles exchanged their ideas on how to facilitate high-quality economic development in the new development era. Vice Chairman of the National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, Zhao Yanglong, said, structuring the new development paradigm is an important strategy of building a modern country, and the new mission for industrial and financial sectors is to make greater contribution to achieving the goals of 14th Five-Year Plan period. The forum also discussed the important role of mainstream media in leading the public to learn, adapt to new challenges, and actively make innovation. Deputy Minister of the Publicity Department of the Communist Party of China Central Committee, Shen Hanxiang, said the Financial Forum, hosted by CMG, is significant in explaining the development trend and building up consensus from all walks of life ahead of the upcoming annual Central Economic Work Conference. He noted that CMG has brought to audience a large number of excellent and high-quality programs and reports focusing on poverty alleviation and the building of a moderately prosperous society in all respects since the beginning of this year.
Frenchman Boris Xiaxia, having gout and being overweight, is at risk if he were to catch COVID-19. Nonetheless, he has no intention of getting inoculated once a vaccine is available in France. His refusal is partly because of his distrust of the medication. He used to take pills to help with painful symptoms and inflammation caused by gout, but noticed he started getting more seizures. He stopped his medication in February and said once he did, his general well-being improved. He's not alone in the refusal to take the COVID-19 vaccine once available. France counts more vaccine detractors than any other country in the world. An Ipsos survey last month showed nearly half of French people will not get vaccinated against the virus. He said that big pharmaceutical companies had rushed their vaccines through too quickly. His mother has joined Facebook groups that share various articles criticizing the government's handling of the COVID crisis and are skeptical about the vaccine. She said there are questions and doubts about what the government has informed the public. The nation's skepticism matters for President Emmanuel Macron. A low uptake of the vaccine risks leaving France vulnerable to future waves during the pandemic and could compromise a recovery in the Eurozone's second biggest economy. The Ipsos survey of 15 countries, published on November the 5th, showed 54% of French people would have a COVID vaccine if one were available. The figure was 64% in Italy and Spain, 79% in Britain, and 87% elsewhere. President Macron has promised transparency in vaccines rollout to persuade citizens to get the vaccine. The health minister, Olivier Véran, has insisted the European Union was rigorous in its approval process and would not be rushed into rolling out any vaccine. COVID vaccines will be free for all, with the first shots expected to be available in France from early to mid-January. Care home residents and their carers will be the first to get the vaccine before a wider distribution in March. Experts estimate herd immunity would require at least 60 to 70% of the population to have immunity to break the chain of infections.
Cooks from across the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region recently participated in a culinary competition in an effort to raise public attention to the city's catering industry and better promote its cooking culture. The COVID-19 pandemic has greatly affected many industries around the world, including Hong Kong's catering industry as it faces a transformation to survive, with the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region government tightening pandemic measures. The catering industry is now actively integrating into the Greater Bay Area through skills training, transformation and upgrading, and seeking new development opportunities. A contestant presented a traditional dish with her own innovation to express her love for her hometown and won a place for the next round of the competition. To survive the blow caused by the pandemic and industry shrinkage, Hong Kong's catering industry is eyeing the huge market of the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area for sustainable development. The severe condition in Hong Kong have forced many restaurants to close, while some others are seeking solutions by changing their business strategies and scope.
China's auto production and sales hit a high in November, and the annual decline is expected to narrow to 2%, according to data released by the China Association of Automobile Manufacturers, the CAAM. In November, China produced and sold 2.847 million and 2.77 million vehicles, respectively, up 9.6% and 12.6% year on year. Auto production and sales have increased for 8 consecutive months, and sales growth stayed above 10% for 7 consecutive months. Industrial experts noted this year's commercial vehicle market is better than for that of passenger cars, with production and sales maintaining a dramatic year-on-year rise. The production and sales of medium-sized, light and heavy tractors had a year-on-year growth of only about 30%. This has triggered a new round of multinational auto companies investing in the market. Recently, Daimler Truck AG and Baiki Photon Motor Company jointly announced that both partners will produce and distribute Mercedes-Benz tractors for an advanced market segment in China. The new energy vehicle market in China is also doing fairly well, with sales expected to reach 1.3 million.
Some residents in Suzhou City of East China's Jiangsu province were giving a surprise as they were the lucky recipients of part of a 20 million yuan digital currency lottery in a pilot program to promote the application of the new form of currency. Among over 10 million permanent residents in the city, 100,000 people received the currency in red envelopes worth 200 yuan each via a random draw. The digital currency can be used for shopping in designated shops or via JD.com from December 11th to the 27th. Many shops already put up signs to accept the digital currency to attract customers during the Double 12 shopping festival. A similar pilot scheme was already successfully conducted in Shenzhen City of South China's Guangdong province in October, when 10 million yuan worth of digital currency was issued in 50,000 red envelopes.
As the U.S. government considers an emergency use authorization for the Pfizer vaccine, plans are underway throughout the country for its mass distribution. But even as the number of American deaths from COVID-19 approaches 300,000, there is still wide skepticism and even a resistance to the vaccine in some parts of rural America. Some 68% of American men said they would get vaccinated, according to a Reuters Ipsos poll conducted in early December. Doubt is even growing among American women, who traditionally make most of the healthcare decisions in families and are now more wary than men of the new rapidly developed COVID-19 vaccines. The survey showed that 35% of women say they were not very or not at all interested in getting a vaccine, an increase of 9 points from a similar poll conducted in May when vaccines were being developed. Some 55% of women said they were very or somewhat interested in getting the vaccine, a drop of about 6 points in the same time span. Meanwhile, 68% of men said they would get vaccinated, which is unchanged from May.
This brings us to the end of this episode of the Business Review. We hope to see you again tomorrow with news of stock markets, economic conferences, commodities, currencies, regional and international financial news, and much more.